folks signed up to speak on non-agenda testimony. I'm going to start calling up. You're going to have 1 minute apiece. And when I'm joined by two of my colleagues, I'll ask you to start, but I'm going to call your names. Francine Maxwell, citizen, Michelle Corwin, Corwin Harris, Evelyn Dominguez, Nathaniel Krieger, Megan Glynn, Lalia Alali, Kelly Simpson, parent of district student. Apologize for the delay. That's all right, we just need one more.
Uno más, por favor.
You want a quorum?
We need a quorum. Okay, we'll get started. If I called your name, please come and speak. You'll have 1 minute apiece.
He said, Francine Maxwell, thank you very much. Francine Maxwell, my concern today is the fact that the blatant racism that's being shown off of this diocese is just deplorable, and I'm not understanding how everyone can sleep. Race and human relation and advocacy, they mediate everything in this district, and they're eliminated. Children, youth, and transition, the team that oversees work with homeless students, refugee students, military families that put their lives on the line for us. You're cutting the most neediest, and when you say that you're here for children, I'm not sure, because board trustees look at children as revenue. I have yet to talk and see the implementations that directly make people feel grateful that they're bringing their students to this district. We went from 130,000 to 106,000. Please pay attention. Stop wondering while they're leaving. It's because of the blatant racism that you guys are showing. The Leadership Council has no diversity. How do you allow the Leadership Council of this district, with all the minority students that we have, the minority parents, be underrepresented?
Betsy DeVos did not send school police to homes of little kids and scared them so much that their parents will be arrested while they're at school. Martin did that. Betsy DeVos did not fail Lincoln. It started with 2,300 students, and it's now down to 1,439 students. That's under Cindy Martin. DeVos did not cover up school police complaints. Martin did that. Betsy DeVos did not hide ASB money from the students in their high schools. Martin did that. Betsy DeVos did not hire Quality Assurance Executive Director Carmina Duran for $127,000 with a trade school degree to run that office. Martin did that. Betsy DeVos does not hide public documents so that people don't know what's happening with taxpayer money. Martin did that. Betsy DeVos did not fire an investigator who was investigating sex abuse at an elementary school. Martin did that.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lalia Alali, and I am the DLAC chair. The DLAC is very concerned about the announcement made by OLA leadership that all teachers currently serving as ELSTs will be accessed from their position and that the ELST position will be redesigned. I am in the process of seeking a broad input from our membership regarding this issue in order to communicate to you a consensus of our recommendations. It's critical that we have the superintendent attend the March 2nd DLAC meeting and that she provides a time to explain to parents what is going on with the ELST's position and to answer their question as well. Board members, we encourage you to attend as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, we're here to represent Project Ujima from the Ballard Center. How can we sum up all the
Could you
accomplishments?
give us your name, please?
I'm sorry, Michelle
Thank you,
Harris.
Michelle. Okay.
How can we sum up all the accomplishments with Project Ujima in a minute? Well, that's hard. We started out with Project Ujima in 2009 as a parenting class, but Project Ujima is now part of our lives. Because of Project Ujima, the workshops have guided us through our children's academic, social, and behavior environment. Project Ujima helps us build stronger partnerships with our schools, district staff, parents, and even students. We are taught that African American cultural understanding and teachings will promote positive development and achievements. Project Ujima brings parents and caregivers together to strengthen family involvement and empowering us to communicate with one another. We are informed through Project Ujima about our school district policies, procedures, and curriculum changes before the school even makes them aware. And the best thing about the Project Ujima class, it's free. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Corwin Harris. I really don't need a minute. I just want to ask you guys one question. You guys sitting up there looking at us and everything, like we did 4 years ago, 8 years ago, same stares. When do our questions and answers, when do we get answered? You guys still got the same faces.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I want to know, because we're still here, 10 years later.
Hello, my name is Megan Glenn. My son, Liam Palczewski, is a third grade Mod Severe student who spends more than 50% of his day in the general education classroom. He attends our neighborhood school, Foster Elementary, and has since kindergarten. I was notified that next school year the district intends to close the Mod Severe classroom at Foster and move all of the students to Marvin Elementary. Foster Elementary has a sensory room that is regularly used by the Mod Severe students to calm down, relax, and avoid meltdown. Marvin does not. Foster Elementary has an upgraded ADA restroom with a man lift and a large change table, so Mod Severe wheelchair users in diapers do not have to be changed in a corner of the classroom or in the nurse's office in front of other students. Marvin does not. Foster Elementary also has my son's peer group, the general education students he has spent every school day with since kindergarten. To force him to leave Foster would tear him from his peer group, his neighbors, his friends, his classmates. He is an integral part of this school. Everyone knows him. Children of all grades call his name and wave as he enters campus. It is disturbing to me that your executive director of special education rethink this decision. This move is inappropriate. Yes.
I'm Nat Krieger. I've been a San Diego Unified Computer Repair Tech for 17 years. Taxpayers have spent over $400 million on technology in the classroom. Lesson plans are now built upon functioning computers for the kids, one for every student and the teacher. Last year, the 5 techs of computer repair fixed 3,500 malfunctioning computers and printers in classrooms and offices. The integrated classroom technology support team fixed another 8,000 student and teacher computers. If current budget projections hold, these two groups will be cut by a combined 80%, and the effects on technology in the classroom will be catastrophic. The student who can't log on, the teacher whose computer has crashed, will wait weeks, sometimes months. How can we let our children down and stand by as the I-21 classroom decays in place? Thank you for your time, and please refer to the written supplement for further details.
Thank you. Lorraine Burley, Andy Coe, Anna Bonatati, Chris Larson.
Good evening. My name is Lorraine Burley, and my information is on file. When this board starts discussing LCAP Gold number 5 on community engagement tonight, just keep in mind the Scripps Mesa Joint Occupancy Project. The apartment project demonstrates the deceptive and inaccurate information this district continues to provide to the Scripps Ranch community. The district has not responded to our Freedom of Information Acts. We're still waiting over 15 months for supplemental materials that we paid $250 for. Your meeting records, even for this board meeting and the ICO meetings, do not reflect what the public is saying to you. You have selectively omitted or modified my public testimony and omitted my handouts from the public records. I've been attending the ICOC meetings and subcommittee meetings for over a year now, and there is little record of me even attending or record of my written and submitted public statements and handouts that I've provided. This is how you guarantee my public right to attend and participate in your meetings.
Thank you.
Hello, board. My name is Andy Coe, and I'm a teacher and a council representative for Claremont High School. And I wanted to talk to you as a teacher today. I am not Access this year, but I know a lot of people in my community school that are. And as you know, Claremont is the linked learning demonstration school for the district, and not just for our district, but for the entire West Coast. We are trying to provide a rigorous course selection as well as comprehensive education for all of our students that not only gives them college and career opportunities with industry, but also has theater, the arts, and AP programs. Board members, how can you expect us to build this program if you are going to be making our cuts to our allocations, which limit access to the courses that our students want? The argument can be made that the board isn't making us cut the arts because next year we'll have one art teacher and one period of theater, but that is not enough to help offset our declining enrollment and is in fact a direct opposition to the goals of growing Claremont High School. So the solution is easy. Don't punish our schools and keep funding the way it was before.
Anna Bonatati, I continue to appear before you with the hope that something I say may resonate and initiate some action on your part beyond a classroom visit from Mr. Solo, which was appreciated, especially since he remarked that the 30 beginning students we have in our class is far too many. I'm here this evening further disheartened by the most recent blow to our English learners, that is accessing all of the remaining ELSTs and all the resource teachers in the OLA Office of Language Acquisition. Over the past 4 years, you as the governing board of the district have slashed the ELST program in half 4 years ago, ousted the very committed and knowledgeable leaders of OLA only to replace them with novices to the field of language acquisition, destroyed a research-based newcomer program, accelerated ELD classes from 3 years to 1 year, and now this. The support you give lip service to is not reflected in your actions. The district is ignoring the Castaneda standard, which mandates programs be based on sound educational theory, implemented effectively with sufficient resources and personnel, evaluated to determine that they're effective.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Larson. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, let me start with some grateful comments. Thanks to Trustee McQuarrie, who's not here, for coming to a recent PSRO meeting, listening respectfully, and staying long after the meeting to talk to some of us individually. A big thank you for efforts to increase the number of translated LOTE tests. This is a wonderful example of a win-win situation. Our talented bilingual and multilingual students can demonstrate their proficiency in other languages. This moves them closer to graduation, to the delight of the students themselves, their parents, their communities, and the district. And in my best Trevor Noah imitation, a very big, very terrific thank you for not inviting Betsy DeVos to San Diego quite yet. So yes, there are things to be grateful for. There are also issues that we must move forward on effectively and with a sense of urgency. Many of my community colleagues and I believe the district lacks an overall vision for and commitment to English learners. As I talk to former students, parents, community stakeholders, and county and state education staff, I believe many avoidable mistakes have been made.
Elizabeth Tate, Emily Seraphy Cox, Laura Busick, Shannon and Lee, Neo Kabashima, Lynn Burnitz.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Tate. I was here last week, 2 years before. I'm here with the same concern. I'm the head coach of FloJo International, and we have utilized Hoover High School track for the past 25 years. And within the past 3 years, we've had the same issue with them trying to disconnect us, a community organization, from utilizing the facility. And that originated with Ron Lars Disball, who was the AD there. He went over to Mira Mesa High School, and a team Millennium Express was there for the past 18 years. He told them he no longer wants them. He has another agenda for their program. So he removed 200 youth from youth sports for 8 months out of a year from participating there, and that whole entire organization dissolved as a result of him. And he's spreading that same attitude throughout the city, forcing other athletic directors and vice principals from disconnecting from community organizations and the schools. It is a disservice, it's an embarrassment, because communities like City Heights, we need to work together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Laura Budzik, and I'm a parent with 3 children at Golden Hill Elementary School, which is a K-8 school, and I'm here representing the parents of that school. We recently learned at an SSC meeting that we will be losing our vice principal next year due to budget level cuts at the state level. And we believe that this loss is a significant setback for our Title I school with devastating implications for our children. We believe our vice principal is invaluable in promoting a safe and positive culture at our school, and we need his shared leadership to support our students. We also believe that removing such a major support at our school is detrimental to the education of our students. And we would like to request a meeting with the superintendent to express the specifics of these concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Emily Seraphy Cox. I'm a longtime resident of Golden Hill, and my daughter is in kindergarten at Golden Hill K-8. Normally, many of you see me in a professional capacity. Today, I am just here as a concerned parent. I've become involved with the BTO, and we are here representing many other concerned parents. Golden Hill K-8 school is on the cusp of something great, and that's really exciting. Our vice principal has been a catalyst of that. We recognize this issue is a very complex one, and that's why we're requesting a meeting with the superintendent so we can better understand what we can do together with the district to make sure that Golden Hill K-8 is continue to be supported and has the potential to continue the amazing things that have been happening there.
Good evening, my name is Shannon. I have a 5-year-old sister at Clay Elementary, and I'm here to testify for Family Friday at Clay Elementary. It has so much potential to make a mark on children's education. It allowed us to see firsthand the improvement our child made, the techniques the teachers used to teach the children, which we also brought home with us. And it also made the Clay community better by giving us an opportunity to interact with the teachers, staff members, and other parents more often than we usually would have. Clay Elementary also began providing weekly book bags to take home with each child, which is a blessing. Being a college student and my parents working full-time, we don't often have the opportunity to take our child to the library. Family Friday and weekly book bags are important. The school and the support and education the kids get at school and at home sets the foundation for the future generations, which directly influences the communities around us.
Thank you.
Good Good evening. My name is Lynn Burnett. I work at Clay Elementary, and she kind of just stole my whole show. She's wonderful. Thank you. I wanted to speak just very quickly about the Family Fridays that our school and many schools across the district have also they have them, and they're a wonderful vehicle to bring parents into the classroom. I've recently had the opportunity to work with the FACE department, and we are working to develop better relationships with the parents and the community, bring them in, give them a few demo lessons so that they know how to read and ask questions with their own children at home. And then she also touched upon the Raising a Reader program, which has been a great benefit to many parents and families at our school. We have a very diverse culture at our school, some homeless children, and many parents that don't have that opportunity to bring the books. So thank you.
Thank you. Kristen McLean, Maria Garcia, Leticia De Jesus, Bridget Key. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kristen McLean, and I'm the parent of a kindergartner at Clay Elementary, also to talk about the Family Friday and just how it's been a positive program. As a parent, I look forward to Family Friday for several reasons. From a community perspective, the program expresses that our community school is invested in families, and it also builds a sense of community in the classroom. A month that I wasn't able to attend, another parent stepped in and welcomed my child, and then I was able to do the same. It's always great to know that the classroom is a safe environment and that the children know that other parents are also invested in them. My son looks forward to Family Fridays. He's always proud to show me what he's learning in the classroom. He likes me to read at home, even though I know that he can read. But on Family Fridays, he's always eager to read to me and kind of show off what he knows. So Family Friday has definitely played a role in boosting his confidence. So just thank you for allowing this program.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María García. Yo vengo de la escuela Wilson, el departamento de padres. Nosotros estamos muy contentas por los servicios que nos está dando Wilson de todas las clases de padres, de matemáticas, escrituras, clases de computación, exámenes para la universidad. Eso nos ha enseñado a nosotros a cómo preparar a nuestros hijos para las oportunidades de beca, de muchas maneras de que nosotros desgraciadamente pues no sabíamos cómo poderlos ayudar, y nos gustaría mucho que nos siguieran apoyando con esa ayuda que nos están dando. La necesitamos en la comunidad, la necesita para preparar a nuestros hijos.
Good evening, my name is Maria Garcia and I'm from Wilson School, and we are very happy with the services that have been provided to us as parents. We have a parent center, and it's from the parent department. They offer classes to parents, math classes, writing, computer classes. They also explain about the testing for college. And that has helped us very much because they help us prepare our children to go to college and learn about the scholarships available. We are very happy with the community forums and the classes that they have, and we are here to request that you continue to support us because we do need it, and it's something that is really helping us as parents and the community.
Thank you.
Hola, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Leticia de Jesús. Soy madre de familia de la Escuela Central, Wilson y Hoover. Bueno, yo vengo para apoyar al Departamento de Involucración para Padres, que nos ha ayudado mucho las clases que nos dan, y me gustaría que siguieran tanto a mí como a los demás padres. Nos han dado clases de matemáticas, cómo manejar una computadora. Tal vez hay muchos papás que no saben y les gustaría aprender y todo. También quisiéramos que nos pudieran ayudar para dar a los padres clases de inglés. No sé si se pueda. Y pues me gustaría que siguiera el programa. Eso es todo. Thank you very much.
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Leticia de Jesus, and I'm a parent from Central, Wilson, and Hoover. And I am here to support the Parent Involvement Department. The Parent Involvement Department has helped us as parents. They provide many programs. They provide classes, like math classes. They teach us how to use computers. A lot of the parents want to learn how to use the computers. They teach us about English and English classes. The parents want to learn English. I don't know if that's possible to have English classes. And we are here to support it, and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Bridget Key. I'm a parent of 2 students in the district, and I'm also a teacher in the district. I'm here to ask you to reverse the decision to eliminate the ELST positions in the district. There seems to be this idea that a good teacher can do anything, and while that is often true, it does not follow that a good teacher can do all things. If we truly believe that all it takes is a good teacher, why don't we have the AP Calculus student sitting in the same room as the first grader? That sounds ridiculous, and the fact that it sounds ridiculous to all of us means that we agree that while teachers can be great at many things, they cannot do them all at once. The ELSTs are the experts that support the classroom teachers in the same way that specialists support doctors in general practice. To eliminate that position and say that all English language learners need is a good teacher in their classroom would be like a medical practice eliminating their oncology department and saying that all cancer patients need is a good primary care doctor. While I am sure that many of those doctors would recognize their cancer patients as a vulnerable population and would work hard to bring themselves up to speed and to create appropriate treatment plans, no one thinks that's a good way to deal with cancer patients, and it's not a good way to deal with our English language learners. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Okay, this completes the non-agenda public testimony for this portion of the meeting. If we did not get to you in the first 30 minutes, we will also hear non-agenda public testimony at the end of the meeting. Thank you for all your comments and for taking time to address the board and superintendent today. We appreciate your input, and please know that your perspectives help us to better serve our students, parents, and the community. So I'd like to call this meeting to order and welcome everyone present today and those watching the broadcast, and call the February 14th, 2017 regular meeting to order with all board members present except member McQuarrie, who is absent from this portion of today's meeting. The Army JROTC Color Guard from Hoover High School will now present the colors. Please stand for the presentation of the colors. Ready to begin? All right, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, hey, forward, march, left, right, left.
All right, thank you, Hoover JROTC. If you wish to address the board on any of the agenda items before the board today, and your name is not on the speaker list printed on blue paper located at both entrances to the auditorium, and if you've not already submitted a request for public testimony form, Please complete the form and submit it to Cheryl Ward, our Board Action Officer. Speakers on agenda items will be called on to speak during the discussion of the agenda item. Once discussion begins on an item, no additional public speaker requests will be accepted by the board. Our board bylaws provide that public testimony on agenda items is limited to a maximum of 20 minutes per consent and or action item, allowing for a maximum of 10 minutes per opposing viewpoint. Public testimony speakers are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker, and depending upon the total number of speaker requests received by the board on an item, the time may be reduced to 2 or 1 minute each. The time limit for speakers on today's agenda items will be announced at each item. Okay, so we have our student presentation tonight from La Jolla Elementary School robotics program. And the students will share information about the robotics program. So please welcome La Jolla Elementary School students, Principal Donna Trippi and Teacher Joan Boyle.
Okay. Thank you for inviting us to present tonight. I'm Donna Trippi, the very proud principal of La Jolla Elementary School. In addition to our masterful teachers, hardworking students, and supportive parent community, one of the things we are most proud of at our school is being on the cutting edge of curriculum and instructional practice. Tonight you are going to hear from students who have benefited from engineering instruction through robotics from one of our very innovative teachers, Joan Boyle, a 2004 San Diego Unified Teacher of the Year. Joan is assisted in her after-school robotics program by parent Devin Brees. Robotics is now in all classrooms in grades 3 through 5, and you'll hear our story of how that occurred and what our children are learning.
Hi, we represent the La Jolla Elementary School robotics team, and I'm Ben Haswell. I am Trey.
I am Audrey. I am Isla.
I am Evan.
And I am Ben. Hi, my name is Danielle. We represent third grade reading program. I'm Sienna. I'm Kiara. And I am Emily. My name is Kai, and we represent the Monday Robotics Club. I am Billy. And I am Mason.
Hello, we represent robotics in the classroom, and I am Jordan.
And I am Jackson Brown.
And I'm Torrin Young.
I am Jacob Camichon.
I would like to tell you a little about the history of how robotics started at our school 4 years ago. Our teacher, Miss Boyle, took some of her students to Legoland as a reward. While there, they watched the first Lego League Championship competition, and she commented that it might be fun to try it at our school, La Jolla Elementary, as an after-school program.
The students happily agreed, so she successfully wrote a grant for $1,000 and purchased 3 NXT robots. The 10 students split into 3 teams, one team of 4 girls, which was Miss Boyle's focus to get more girls into engineering. They had a super fun, competitive year and won 2 trophies, one for teamwork, the other for core values. This was only a start. What followed was a wave of enthusiasm that now has 30 young engineers from grades 2 to 5 attending Robotics Club every Monday, which prepares them to get ready for a competitive team after a year of training.
Every Thursday, our robotics team of 30 members from grades 4 and 5 meet and prepare to take on a designated challenge set from First Lego League, which involves us in researching a real-world problem and preparing a presentation, which is evaluated by judges at Legoland. We also design and program a robot that can meet the challenges like the one you will see in the upcoming video. We are lucky to have Coach Brees and our super La Jolla High School mentors guide us through the this tricky work. Lastly, we practice core values, which teaches us how to work as a team to solve an on-the-spot challenge in front of the judges. It sounds hard, and it is, but it's a lot of fun. We will now show you a video of the FLL EV3 competition.
These are some of the skills we learned from robotics. It's super hands-on, so we love it, and we get to play with some really fun toys from the start.
It's very open-ended. We make the decisions. And it encourages us to think and explore. The teamwork skills we learn go far beyond what we learn in sports because there are no set positions, formations, or rules. So we just have to figure it out. It's a great opportunity for us to learn problem-solving techniques for brainstorming, testing, and moving through different ideas to arrive at something that works well.
In short, it is a super fun activity for all of us kids, as it teaches us some of the most important life skills, and it can help us launch us into a STEM career. Our incredible principal, Ms. Trippy, saw the benefits that only a small number of students were getting through to robotics. So she got a small group of parents to work together to apply for a $10,000 Monsanto grant, together with some money from our foundation, so she could buy EV3 Legos for all the students to share in grades 4 and 5. After only the first year, these are some of the comments students shared.
I think robotics is good for teamwork. In team, we have lots of fun on the board, but when I did the robotics in class, I like to help my friends and mentor them with the programming. This is a comment from Nathan from room 9. I love doing the robotics lessons. It was very fun and it improved my teamwork skills. My favorite part was building the robot, so thank you.
This was written by Daniela Vinola in room 6. I enjoyed building the robot with my partner. It was very difficult, but we finished. I also enjoyed decorating the robot to see how it ended up looking like. The program I enjoyed the best was the one that would stop when it felt the black line. It is amazing how the robot can do the task by just feeling it.
This is a comment from Brady in room 6. What I liked about the robotics program was that we got to explore new features of the robot. We also got to create our own code. My partner Levi and I renamed our robot, and we also got to do cool tricks. I can't wait for the next program. This is what Tommy Michael said from room 6. I liked robotics because it's to be able to program to do what you want. Program robots to do what you want them to do. Also, it involves teamwork, which is an important character strength. You also have fun while doing all of those different things. This is a comment from Max. I really enjoyed programming the robot. I liked the programming because the programming is like putting a puzzle together. Also, because I can make the robot do a lot of cool tricks by programming.
Nate from Room 9 says, "This was my first time doing robotics, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I would."
This is a comment from Jet Kyle from Room 9. First of all, I love robotics. Here are a few reasons why. Robotics teaches you how to persevere through tough building and programming. Also, I like robotics because you get to customize your robot with amazing extensions. It teaches you how to think outside the box.
Ava and Jordan, 2 team members who could not be here, shared, "One of our favorite skills is teamwork. It really helps to have a good understanding of how to work together in order to achieve a goal. Maryland's middle school doesn't have a robotics team, but our high school does, and we'd both like to keep participating to learn more skills." We are applying for another grant this year to buy a Lego curriculum for grade TK through grade 2nd. We are looking to purchase a simple machines curriculum to teach the basics of engineering, which will help us understand more when we reach higher levels.
We also bought a program for 3rd grade called WeDo 2.0. This has all of the teamwork, design, and programming benefits of EV3, but at a simpler level. This is what we learned from this program. One thing I learned is working in a group is a lot faster than working by myself. One thing I learned is that people really stick to their ideas, so it's really hard to compromise. I learned that it's important to listen to the ideas of others. One thing I learned is that you work slower alone, and when you work as a team, you get more ideas. Last weekend, we went to the WeDo exposition. We went to the Legoland WeDo exposition. She shared these research posters and Lego displays with teams from all over Southern California. By using daily the core values, we all learn that friendly competition and mutual gain are not separate goals, and that helping one another is the foundation of teamwork. Here are our core values.
We are a team.
We do the work to find solutions with guidance with our coaches and mentors.
We know our coaches and mentors don't have all the answers. We learn together.
We honor the spirit of friendly competition.
What we discover is more important than what we win.
We share our experiences with others.
We display gracious professionalism and cooperation in whatever we do. We have fun! Thank you for welcoming us to share our experiences with robotics today. We would like every school in our district to do robotics. Do you have any questions?
You guys are spectacular. Any questions from board members? I see you've got a display up here. Is that something that you guys have created?
Well, this board is the 3rd grade WeDo,
Yeah.
and these 2 robots on the side are for the 5th and 4th LJES team.
What was an example of a real-world problem that you solved with your robotics team?
Well, I'm on Team Jebs with my friend Evan.
Yeah.
And so the problem we did was how can we help cats that are in shelters stay happy while they're waiting for their future homes, because we don't want like families to get a cat and they're all, yay, we get a cat, and then it turns out to be like sleeping half the time. So we made catnip mice because cats like mice and catnip.
That's great.
So we delivered it to the San Diego Humane Society.
Oh, all right, yeah, great job. Thank you, guys. Thank you, La Jolla. Thank you, Ms. Boyle and Principal Trippy. Oh, you gotta. All right. That's pretty nice. Thank you. Thank you. I know. I guarantee that's the best part of our week so far.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So we have these brochures right here, and these sheets with some bullet points and facts about this.
All right, can we get a motion to adopt today's agenda with Section I, the superintendent's consent agenda, to be considered following the adoption of the agenda and acted on next?
I'd like to pull item 13 and item 15.
Okay.
I'd like to pull, let's see, F2.
I2?
Yeah. No, I'm on F. Back F. We haven't gotten to that. That's fine. I'll second it.
So it's just item
I-13 and
13 and 15.
Okay.
Correct.
The remaining items.
I'll second.
Okay, please vote.
Oh. Are we adopting the agenda first, and then we're going to go to Section I?
Right.
I'm sorry.
I move we adopt the agenda.
Second.
Okay. We'll call that approved to adopt the agenda.
I'll move the consent agenda, pulling item 13 and 15.
Okay. Please vote.
And then in addition to 13 and 15, you have speakers on items 17, 19, 36, and 37. So if you could also pull those off.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay. Please vote on the amended motion. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ward. Okay, are there any reportable actions to report out from closed session at this time?
There are not.
Okay. Administrative assignments, we don't have any, so let's move on to our ASB President's Report. So at this time, we'd like the ASB student representatives to the board to introduce themselves. Please tell us about yourself and what's going on at your school, both academically and socially. We've got Diego Oliva, the ASB president at the East Village High School. Welcome, Diego. And we've got Laura Barton, our ASB president from Mission Bay High School. Laura, would you like to kick it off?
So I'm Laura Barton from Mission Bay High School, and I'm also the president of San Diego Unified School District Council of ASB Presidents. Since November, when I was last here, Mission Bay has had a successful community movie night in December, a canned food drive, and I Have a Dream board for Martin Luther King Jr. Day in January, Club Rush, and 8th grade visit from Pacific Beach Middle School, where they participated in Unlocking the Genius program in early February, and our winter pep rally last week. The Council of ASB Presidents have been working on creating Unity Games at each of our schools. Unity Games is a great opportunity for ASBs, athletics, and the special ed department to partner up and play a basketball game where students play with school basketball players. Each of the high schools are creating teams for Chelsea's run on March 4th, and we are also assessing the sales of ASB cards and what we can do to improve sales and attendance at our sporting events. Thank you.
Yes, good evening. My name is Diego Oliva, and I am the ASB president of East Village High School. We are temporarily located on the campus of San Diego High School. From 2008 to 2015, we were located on the City College's campus and look forward to relocating back in the near future. Founded in 2008, East Village High School is an early college, atypical school with class sizes that allow for productive small group and individual attention. This past semester, East Village High School students passed transferable classes with an average GPA of 3.5. This semester, 80% of juniors and seniors are taking transferable classes. Assisting our students is a City College counselor funded by a Middle College grant who is preparing our juniors with their college education plans. Our partnership with the college has allowed our students to take a wide variety of electives that help them to explore different fields of studies. Students take classes such as astronomy, sociology, gender studies, American Sign Language, and among many other classes. To spark the artistry in our students, the high school has partnered with San Diego Opera and Teatro Iscali. Last year, students performed actos that inspired the farm labor movement. And next week, students will be attending a performance by the opera. At the end of the month, we are also planning on having game night and movie night on the first week of March. Some of our graduates have gone on to schools such as Berkeley, UCLA, UCSD, UC Davis, and Sacramento State, and of course, San Diego State. Many of our students continue their education at City College before transferring, and that is East Village High School. Thank you. Yes, pleasure.
Board information reports, Dr. Whitehurst Payne.
I would just like to comment on a couple of things happening that happened at a couple of my schools. And one of them was a wonderful event last week with the court school at Lincoln High School. I think it was Sony gave the scholarship, the monies to have them build, and the students actually built a courtroom. And we had many attorneys there, and one judge, one federal judge, and one state judge there at the opening event. It was actually very nice. They've been working with the school for 3-4 years, and it was just wonderful to see the children involved in knowing that they can be attorneys, judges, etc. So we really applaud them on that project and the opening that they had on last Friday, I believe it was. And then the other thing that I wanted to comment on, and I may have mentioned this before, was at Johnson School and the teacher home visit workshop, which had almost 40 teachers from 2 or 3 schools there. It was just a wonderful activity. And Baker School's mural art program. It's very good.
That's great. Thank you. Vice President Advisor.
Last Thursday, February 9th, we had our first ever 2017 Family Climate Summit for San Diego Unified School District. It was in partnership with the Sierra Club and with the San Diego Unified Council of PTAs. We have had several partners in the school district over the last many years helping us to reduce our consumption, to try to find greener ways of running the school district, which have in many cases resulted in actual savings in our general fund budgets. For example, expanding our solar power capacity is saving us millions of dollars with our electric bill every year, as well as reducing our carbon emissions into the atmosphere, having a positive impact on climate. We also heard from a lot of students about some of the amazing things going on with their green clubs, their organic gardens, hydroponic programs in some of our schools, about how a lot of the kids really are excited about having outdoor classrooms, going on field trips in the local ecosystem to try to learn about the curriculum connections from elementary, middle, and high school. We also had a guest speaker, Barbara Bree from the City Council, sharing a little bit about what they're doing at the city level with the Climate Action Plan. It was just a great opportunity. It brought together quite a few folks from across the city in different communities. So it really touched on academic things that are going on in the schools, as well as clubs and organizations, recycling, composting, and things like that. So it was a really, really outstanding opportunity for parents and students to come together and learn a little bit more about what we can do in San Diego Unified to have a positive impact on our future climate.
Yes. I know when we sit here and we have public testimony and people comment about us sitting here stone-faced and not remarking, and they need to know that we cannot comment because these are not items on the agenda, even though very much we would like to speak up. Sometimes the information is factual, sometimes there are alternative facts, but there are other forums in which we can dialogue with the community. And I just wanted to point out that Dr. Sharon Whitehurst-Payne and I are going to have a meeting at Lincoln High School in a couple of weeks on March 2nd at 6 p.m., which is basically to have 3 different panels where we can talk with them about what's working and what needs to be improved at Lincoln High School, a panel of community members, a panel of parents, and a panel of students to talk about the things that are happening at Lincoln. And also, sort of a little-known fact is that there's the huge majority of students at Lincoln High School are actually Latinos, so we'll be sure to have Spanish translators and so forth on hand so that all the families can participate in that. So we'd welcome everybody to turn out to that. And at that point, we will be responding to what the people on the panel are saying and asking questions back and forth.
Thank you, Dr. Evans. I had the pleasure on Saturday of attending a little ceremony at the San Diego High School baseball field. So Joe Schloss, who we've talked about here before and who probably a lot of people in this room and I know in this community know and have a relationship with. Joe was a student at San Diego High School, graduated in the 40s, served in the military, founded the North Park Little League in, I think, 1956, and coached all the way up until a couple of years ago. Joe passed away last year, and so at the annual game between the current San Diego High baseball team and the alumni team, we had a ceremony that put a plaque up at the field in Joe's honor, and a couple of people commented that Joe now can look at the oversee the players forever, and they will mind their P's and Q's and try not to commit errors. A lot of the kids who are in both the alumni team and the current team, I know played for Joe in Little League and are a lot bigger now, but they carry his inspiration with them. So that was terrific.
Who won the game?
I don't even know. I assume the current team. The alumni looked like they needed to get in shape a little bit. Okay. Let's move on to item E1. This is our Vision 2020 Quality Schools in Every Neighborhood. And tonight we're going to have our report on parent and community engagement with highly regarded neighborhood schools that serve students, families, and the communities. Superintendent Martin.
Thank you, President Barrera. I'm inviting up Dr. Julie Martell and Stan Anjan to present this item. And as they're coming up to prepare, I just want to talk about our board's commitment and our ongoing commitment to having quality schools in every neighborhood, but we know that that's not enough. The simple promise and commitment, in many communities, we've realized that there are old stereotypes about our schools, and those old stereotypes are still very much present. So we're determined to work together as a staff and team to provide parents with both information about their neighborhood schools and an invitation to come visit their neighborhood schools. We know for a fact that when parents come and visit their local schools, they'll find outstanding, dedicated educators, talented administrators, and humbly, the best students in the state. So here to talk more about how we're working to welcome parents into our schools, we have Dr. Julie Martell and Stan Anjan. Dr. Martell will speak about our efforts to provide parents with the information they need to make informed decisions on their child's future, and Mr. Anjan will talk about the ways family and community engagement is working to connect our parents to their neighborhood schools by recognizing the fact that parents truly are our partners.
Thank you. Good evening, Superintendent Martin and board members. It's nice to be back again this week. As I move through my piece of the presentation, I will first share our current reality in terms of our neighborhood participation rates in our clusters, and then I will follow that up by sharing some strategies that are currently we're implementing, but will continue to implement. As you can see on this first slide, we have several clusters that have exceeded or reached our expected neighborhood participation rate of 80%. La Jolla, Mira Mesa, Mission Bay, Scripps Ranch, Sarah, and University Cities have reached or exceeded the 80% NPR. The Henry and Point Loma clusters are nearly there, and the Claremont, Hoover, and Morris clusters are moving in the right direction. Our new family and Family Welcome and Enrollment Center opened last August, and Marceline Marquez is the director and loves to have visitors. So if you have not had the opportunity to visit the Enrollment Center, please stop by Annex 11. Since the opening, the center has served on an average of 3,000 families each month. She also, her staff, and Marceline promotes clusters and neighborhood schools by streaming sites, videos, and photo highlights of successful programs that are going on in our schools. When you walk into the center, you will feel this customer service atmosphere. We modeled the facility after like Apple stores. So customer service is a high priority in this center. She has a multilingual staff and the technology and support to assist families with online enrollment. So it's not necessary for families to always go to the school to enroll. They can come here and have the services provided here at our district. As you know, last year we moved the choice window up, and there was some concern about doing that. And I think people were afraid that families wouldn't know and wouldn't get their applications in. But due to a robust information campaign and the support of the communications office, we actually increased and exceeded the number of applications, 11,000. And there were actually fewer applications that were late due to this campaign and efforts that Marceline's office and the communications department put into place. I love this slide. I know it looks a little complicated with a lot of lines, but I really believe that through the increased communication, collaboration, collaborative problem solving, and strategic planning that we continue to strengthen the cohesion within our own organization. We have many departments in this organization, and with our cross-departmental work together, I believe is having a positive impact on strengthening our communities of quality schools in our clusters. For example, with the TK to 12 Logan Heights Educational Center, that's actually the facility is almost designed. We're currently going to begin to work on the instructional program. Right now, there are at least 5 or 6 different departments in our organization that are working to make this happen. We're working with FACE, Stan's department, our communications office, our Office of Secondary Schools, and of course PPO and FPC, all coming together to work together to make sure that this project is just going to be a state-of-the-art TK to 12 community school that this community of Logan Heights really deserves to have. 2 years ago this April, Lee and I presented 11 concepts to action as strategies for increasing our neighborhood participation rate. I want you to know that each of these strategies are in motion. They may be at different stages of implementation, but they are all in motion. In May, just to highlight a couple, in May, Maria Nichols and I will come forward and share our recommendations for making some revisions to the magnet program. You did see Roy McPhail had some optional boundary areas that you made some decisions about. Last week, Lee and I were here and shared and provided an update on the long-range facilities master plan. And as you know, because we spoke about it last week, but we have 2 innovation centers open, Morris and Crawford. Hoover is currently under construction, and we will begin to develop the design plans for San Diego High School and Lincoln. So as I mentioned earlier, I will continue to facilitate and move these concepts forward in our efforts to create quality neighborhood schools in every one of our clusters. With that, I'm happy to turn it over to Stan.
Thank you, Julie. Good evening, everyone. So as Julie mentioned, all of this amazing work that's being done to engage and bring in our prospective families and have them understand the pathways that we have for their students. We also want to ensure that we continue to connect our families with a variety of supports and initiatives that will enhance their experience here at San Diego Unified so that they can continue to be partners in what we believe is essential work around educating our students. So we launched the Family Community Engagement Department this year with these 4 core equity levers, and then from those 4 core equity levers developed belief statements. Those belief statements have been essential in ensuring that we have grounded our work around what we essentially believe in, right? And so as the year launched, we really felt that that the work around environments worthy of families was the place where we needed to start the work. Ensuring that as families engaged with our schools and as they engaged with our district spaces, that they were feeling that there's a space that's welcome and, more importantly, that's safe. And as we have found in the climate that we now are in, this work has been essential in ensuring that we reiterate, reassure, and let our communities know that our schools are safe spaces and that children are here and can come on a daily basis to learn with amazing teachers, with staff that are here to support them, and with district personnel that will give them the tools that they need to be academically successful. And so as we've launched this work around environments worthy of families, we'll see that there was quite a few events that have taken place that the Family and Community Engagement team has launched this year that has really grounded us in this work. And so we launched this year the Equity Coalition, which is a new coalition bringing together all stakeholders to come together to really hear students' voices around what areas they felt they needed to be heard in, and so that we could then bring stakeholders together an opportunity to start to identify where we have where we're able to then help support them in getting the necessary tools and resources that they need. So at the last Equity Coalition, for example, we did speak about safe spaces in schools, and our students were able to really verbalize and share what concerns they had. And as stakeholders, parents, district personnel, even our students themselves, were able to come together and develop action plans so that we could really bring forth those necessary issues. And so, and not just bring forth, but have some great action steps put in place so that we can say that we are really addressing what are the core issues that our children are bringing to light. We held the Celebration of Light event this year. The Celebration of Light event was groundbreaking in that it was one of the first time that we as a district had brought together a variety of resources to address community concerns around what was the post-election climate and the very uncertainty that was arising from that. We had over 60 nonprofit organizations represented, all bringing resources for our families, with almost over 600 attendees. And the response to that event has been just amazing and has continued as we have launched community forums from that event with some very key stakeholders such as Alliance San Diego High School PTA has been one of those organizations driving this work, along with the Mexican Consulate as well, and Immigration Forum. And these community forums have kind of helped support local communities in receiving resources and information that we know is essential to all community members. We've also started driving the community and cluster-wide equity conversations, and that we launched at the beginning of the year with Dr. Pedro Negura, and he really came and brought to light the idea that as a community, we must all roll up our sleeves to support the community and to support our students and children. And so we've been driving this real underlying work around ensuring that we are going to be providing strong community spaces for our families, and trying to change the climate so that families understand and students understand that we are safe spaces.
Before you go to the next slide, I'll just put a frame around what you've just said, Mr. Anjan, because the inception of the Family and Community Engagement Department, we spent a whole year last year developing this department, and the board had the vision that we were going to have more parents engaged in multiple different ways, meeting them at their point of need. And you've just outlined here so many different ways that the inception of your department was founded upon, and that we were going to go beyond what we would build on what we had, parent workshops and ways to educate parents, but to create the engagement part, the E part of FACE, and how do we engage families so families have multiple access points. And these are some examples, and I know there's more coming, but I'm putting the frame around how your whole department, we spent a whole year with the board very clear on what did we want to do. If we have a certain percentage of parents currently engaged through the avenues that were already in place, what would it look like if we expanded that? And you clearly have outlined what the guiding principles are, what the equity levers would be, and now we're starting to see what that looks like and feels like in real time. So keep on going.
Thank you. Yeah, so we are a new team and a small team, but we are we hope to be a driving force, and really to be responsive to the community. None of the events that we've initiated have come from the department, in that we ourselves identified it. They've all been identified by community members, by parents who've been vocal, and community members who have shared a concern and have brought it to light. And that is really what we hope to be, is a place for community and parents to have a place to respond on behalf of them. And so the other areas and initiatives that we move forward with are this idea about parents as partners, and really that parents do have a very critical role to play in the education of their children. And so to give you some examples of what that work has looked like, we have just recently launched the High Impact Home Strategies, and that has been a great and taxing evolution of ideas circulating around what is a good strategy that parents can access, and what tool can they actually have. And so we launched with what's on our webpage currently, routines that parents should utilize in their homes to connect with their children in an effort to start utilizing these high-impact home strategies. And when students are reading at home with their parents, what kind of questions should they be asking? And when they're communicating with their teachers and their staff at school sites, what kind of questions should parents be asking that will help drive and inform families on the academic supports or resources that are needed to ensure that their children are successful? We've also had our resource teachers heavily working with school sites through PLCs and ILTs, the instructional leadership teams. Some of the work that they've been leading has been in identifying content areas such as writing, and then having our staff work with families through some design thinking processes to develop parent-based workshops so that families are engaged in the actual development of how they can support their families at home. So it's been really amazing to see that happen. One example has been at Montgomery through the STEAM work and their STEAM grant, bringing parents and students as well as staff members together to go through a design thinking protocol where they have essentially gone through this process to better understand how they can collaborate in this new grant and the work that they have. We've had a continuous work done around partnerships. So the partnerships such as with the Kearney community and Flood Church, looking to really look at how they can change the perspective on what a safe school is. And so they are working with the ASB as well as parents to develop a series of assemblies that will help drive a core value movement at their school site. We've had our resource teachers leading restorative circles with parents. One prime example at Knox Middle School that just occurred 2 weeks ago, and having our parents get a sense of empowerment in this process and understanding what the values are needed for their community and what supports and resources they can then bring based off of this. So we've been, again, just very recently all onboarded and now really driving some strong and strategic work in our school communities to start developing stronger communities with community voice at the center of the work. We've also just recently launched our partnership with SDEA and the Home Visit Project. Our resource teachers were, as board member Whitehurst Payne mentioned, we're at Johnson Elementary School with SDEA and participated in the training around SDEA Home Visit Project. And this work, we believe, is essential and core in ensuring that teachers build strong relationships with families. It was a very moving training, some very personal stories that came out of that, and how the work around this can impact the lives of our students. So we're really excited to continue to explore with SDEA how our resource teachers and our team as whole can continue to support this initiative and this growth around this project. So we're working closely with Lindsay Birmingham and Jonathan Mello in this work here. We've also, I know at the very beginning of the board meeting, we heard a parent come up and speak from Clay Elementary School around the Raising a Reader and program, the opportunity that their child as a kindergartner has to take a literacy book bag home on a weekly basis. So this program has been in the Department for Family Community Engagement now for a few years, and we are looking to work closely with them to expand to more of our elementary schools in the upcoming year. And what that will look like is that essentially it is a program where our kinder students have access to literature, and they're able to take it home on a weekly basis. And so our early literacy resource teacher alongside community assistants are supporting this work currently with some very interesting work. As you heard, another Clay Elementary School staff member and parent come in and talk about the Family Friday Avenue. And so our early literacy resource teacher is working on Family Friday videos for parents and staff members so that teachers have a resource to play in their classrooms that builds a skill set in the families that come to view it, and then allow them an opportunity to practice in classrooms. So it's a resource not only for staff, but for parents at home. And so we hope to have that up actually on our new Family and Community Engagement webpage that we'll be launching next week, which we've been working with communications on. And so we have a very engaging Family and Community Engagement website going live in the next week or two that will become a resource for families and our community partners. It'll be a one-stop shop where parents can access information around all sorts of district-wide events, initiatives, as well as information. Okay. Our neighborhood centers are one of the initiatives that I spoke to all of you earlier this year in September, and we are really excited to say that each one of our resource teachers is functioning out of a neighborhood center currently, and so we have 7 currently open, looking to open an 8th one, and that will be opening with our early literacy resource teacher. Those neighborhood centers are in multiple middle schools and 1 high school. Those are Knox, Bell, Montgomery, Claremont High School, Memorial, Wilson, and Mann Middle School. The biggest news around this is that we have just worked a partnership out with Jerome's Furniture to help actually create those neighborhood centers and furnish them, to develop them into what we believe are welcoming and worthy spaces for families to come in, gather in, learn, and be participants of our community. And so although we are finding ourselves in some fiscal issues as a department, we have been able to leverage partnerships to be able to continue the work that we know needs to continue for our families. And so we're really excited around this partnership with Jerome's. The other partnership that we will be initiating with these neighborhood centers is a partnership with the Mexican Consulate, and they have they are working on being able to provide English classes through these neighborhood centers for families out of them. And so we're working to solidify all of the details around that. But it's another resource I believe that a parent actually requested earlier today. So how many and where they will land is still in the air, but we're really excited about the dialogue around that, as well as how we can continue to provide other services out of these neighborhood centers for families. So our continuing work, we've always been a believer in continuing to educate parents, and so our Project Ujima work will continue and has continued. Our Parent University work has continued as well, and Computers on the Go. Those are our parent education programs that entail a variety of initiatives from A through G through college readiness, as well as literacy, math, and specific areas around Common Core. And so we're constantly engaging parents and educating them around what necessary information they need to have to be engaged parents in this educational system. And as well as a variety of other places. So one of the things that is continuing will be, and is actually new, is the Advisory Leaders Roundtable, and that is that we'll be bringing all of our advisory chairs together to begin to dialogue around ways that we can build and develop a strong parent leadership council that will help really allow us the opportunity to take our parent leaders to be advocates, whether it's at the local level, state level, even national level, thinking about what the needs are of our community, and having them be the driving force to support our schools and our school district. And so some of the conversation that we've had has been around how do we get some of our parents to Sacramento to be advocates on behalf of this financial crisis, and how do we get them to be the voice that Sacramento hears, so that we can bring funds to our school communities. And so we're really excited about that. I know that the DAC president and the DLAC president and the other advisory presidents who I've spoken to in initiating this conversation have shared an excitement around being driving forces to support our district in what is a tough climate. We also will continue our amazing work with the PTA, who we have had strong relationships with, and we'll continue to work with them through, the support of our regional, local, and then of course our state with the School Smarts program. And Design Thinking Cluster Project is on the move. I mentioned a few of those design thinking processes that have occurred recently and how they've helped kind of bring a community together around specific content or specific areas of academic growth for our school communities. And then, of course, we have our parent survey that we'll launch as part of the Healthy Kids Survey in April. And we're excited to actually get a parent survey that will gauge, from a data perspective, what parents are feeling about our individual school sites, our district, and how we can help use that data as a place for growing and becoming an even better district than we already are. So that concludes our presentation on LCAP 5, and we open up for questions and discussion.
Great, thanks, Stan and Julie. We've got some speakers, so we'll call them up first. Chris Larson, Celeste Barber-Ozaki, Dan Nyamanga, Francine Maxwell, DeAnthony Peterson, B. Fernandez, and Barbara Flannery. Please come forward. You have 3 minutes each.
Francine Maxwell, District E, activist for education. It was amazing that the privileged board trustee said that maybe people aren't aware that Lincoln is highly regarded Latino. We are one. It doesn't matter what race you are. You can rebrand it any way you want to. So your comment that we don't know what our school community is, we have many nationalities in District E. So when I speak, I don't speak for African Americans. I speak for children. Children have no color in District E. Second of all, it says highly regarded. We're not highly regarded in District E because look at the funding. Look at the inequity in our schools in District E. There is no school north of 8 that would have an interim principal. Oh, we pay her hourly. Wonderful. She's a consultant. She can be whatever she wants. The melee of vice principals that have gone through that particular property. So I need us to be careful when we say highly regarded neighborhoods because you don't respect District E. You don't respect the taxpayers' dollars because you've given this superintendent millions to waste. Quality assurance has never come up here and given you a report. You know how much money quality assurance is costing us. The parents that have been dealing with the FACES resource teachers, they're given the wrong complaint form. They have Title IX complaints and they're given uniform complaints. These are parents that should be trained on how to write a complaint so that their things are timely, whether it's Williams Act or anything. So quality assurance, they're nothing. They give the parents the same answer that the principal has already given. They make a phone call, they call the principal gives them the answer that they told the parent, and then quality assurance gives it to them. So FACES should be an advocate for parents. No, they're towing the company line. I want you to rest assured that you have done a great job implementing a wasteful department because they told the company line. Parents do not know their rights. They do not know their power. But we're going to change that because we are in a moral movement right now. We are going to stand up and we are going to help educate each other because you're trying to take us backwards. The fact that a school board trustee had the audacity to say that the school is primarily Latino like nobody knows. Baby, we are one. What affects an African American affects a Latino. When an African American rises, a Latino rises. Your superintendent, your only employee, does not meet with AAAE. How can the superintendent pick and choose? She makes too much money to pick and choose who she meets for. AAAE has not had an appointment. You've reconstituted, oh, we're going to have an equity coalition. She meets exclusively with LGBTQ. She meets with Latino advisories. So why would she disrespect AAAE and not ever meet with them? You know why? Because she went and got a group of African Americans that love to rebrand racism. They rebranded. Racism is still racism, people.
Chris Larson. Thanks, Dr. Bartel and Mr. Andrew, for your presentation. A couple things I'm excited about, a couple couple things I have questions about. The kind of spider chart that you showed, I was interested that didn't appear to be any parent community groups on that, which I think reflects probably a reality, and I think that that's something that we need to address as a total community. A couple weeks ago, I went to Sacramento to the LCAP stakeholders session, and I was interested in the fact that of all the people that I met there, I seemed to be the only member from a community group. A lot of people from school districts, schools, whatever, but I was the only community group member, and there was a lot of interest in that. So it made me proud, but also kind of surprised that there weren't more of me up there. This is an opportunity for San Diego Unified. Let's not blow it. There was a lot of talk there about family engagement versus family and parent empowerment, and I think that's something that Francine referred to just a few minutes ago. The parent involvement and engagement can mean many different things. I think Cindy talked about going beyond. Let's do that. Let's go beyond, and let's recognize grassroots, community-based parent groups. I'm glad to hear that all of your events have been generated by parents. That's good. That's a positive. So that's all good stuff, but I do think that there have been many missed opportunities. I've been up here. I know you're tired of seeing me. I'd much sooner not come and, berate you, I guess, but that's what I'm feeling. As I become more familiar with the people and issues in the community, I realize that the district is really letting down English learners and their parents. Please don't disregard us. We do know what we're talking about. Don't miss an opportunity to build meaningful, and I repeat, meaningful engagement with parents and community advocates. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the school board, Superintendent Cindy Martin. My name is Celeste Babrick-Ozaki. I'm the president for the San Diego Unified Council of PTAs. I wanted to share a letter from the California State PTA in regards to the School Smarts program. Dear Mr. Anjan, on behalf of California State PTA, we would like to thank San Diego Unified School District for their collaboration and partnership in implementing the School Smarts Parent Engagement Program. Over 2,400 parents graduated from this award-winning research-based program last school year all over California. Parents increased their ability to be more engaged in their child's school, understand that their child's first teacher, and become more empowered to advocate for a complete education that includes the arts. Last year, over 120 parents graduated from the School Smarts program at 7 school sites in San Diego Unified School District. Parent participants were from diverse backgrounds from all over, from all education levels. All parents reported an increase in understanding the school system and how to better communicate with school administrators and their students' teachers. At school partners, you help create a welcoming school environment for parents to attend the 7-week program and become part of their school community. California State PTA is proud to be a partner with you in this work, and we look forward to continued partnership with you and parents in your school community. Parent and family engagement is key to student success and to effective implementation of LCFS. We thank you for allowing California State PTA to be part of your school and district community. I'd also like to add that I'm fully aware that there's a high level of frustration and anger about some personnel changes. PTA does not comment or speak on these particular issues. However, what I can advocate for and highly encourage is to direct that energy behind that anger and frustration, to look within ourselves to come up with a constructive dialogue. We heard a lot tonight about collaboration and partnership. So in this time, we cannot control what's happening at the state and federal level, but we can have a little bit of a say what happens at the local level, and that really kind of happens through effective community and authentic family and community engagement. So just a call out to all those. I am fully aware of the frustration. I feel it, and haven't had much sleep in the last few weeks. So I just highly encourage and want to implore that everyone would look within themselves to be part of a constructive dialogue and conversation in regards to addressing the needs of our students who need it most. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Manga. I'm with the Say San Diego at Crawford Community Connection. I work with the PSRO, which is a group of community parents and residents who like to advocate for their children and their community schools. And I'm here to just to support and really encourage the Vision 2020 on parents and community engagement, the kind of work that has been going on. And it started when I started actually, but then it was B and Anders who was leading the department, and it was a shaky at the beginning. But once they started to communicate and actually sit down and listen to what parents really want, it started to work out, started to come out and actually have structured and very wonderful conversation with parents in different languages, and send staff to come to the community to meet with the parents at their own level and in their own language and start the conversation. And that relation started to grow, and it grew, and then over almost a year ago, we did the design thinking, and that was the magic for those who were there. That was like the spark that brought to fruition the need for more engagement and better and community empowerment. And then what I really like to encourage is the journey that the department has started in trying to understand what parents really want, what the community really want, to understand that each individual clusters are different. They're never going to be the same. They are all people from different backgrounds who have different needs, and to be able to meet them at that level and have a real conversation. And that's why we have seen the FACES department has been actually the gateway towards parents reaching out and participating in the school, San Diego Unified District. I'm sorry to say that also. And then STANS came, and I'm looking at when we did the design thinking, well, now we have staff members posted at community schools. We have at Man Middle School, we have 2 staff members who are posted there who opening up the doors for the parents to actually meet with the teachers and meet with the principals and know what's actually is going on within the district, what actually do you want from the community and the parents, and build that connection. And so, and also I want to encourage that to continue with that spirit of wanting to know and wanting to understand and reach out to the community. We're actually waiting for you to continue with that spirit, and I would like to congratulate Stanley for building on the spirit that B started, and continue to bring in more communities and more parents towards making our schools safer and better places for our children to be. Thank you.
Beatrice Fernandez, 261 Twin Oaks Avenue, Chula Vista, 91910, and I'm really here to support the work of the FACE department. As many of you know, I just retired and I left this department after having worked in parent engagement since 1989. And when I came to you at the end of last year and presented the framework to you, it was wonderful to see the support that this board gave us, because I can tell you that it was the first time in 27 years that this department got the support it deserved. All all those years, we were like the stepchild doing good work, good workshops, good events for some schools some of the time across the district. But I think we have the opportunity now to do something that is more systemic and is deeper. And as I sat here and listened to Mr. Anjan's report, it just made me feel so glad that some of the ideas that many of us have had for this department are coming to life. It's something, we need to acknowledge a couple of things. Mr. Anjan did not start into the department until August. The resource teachers, the new ones, were not hired until mid-November. And to see, and my department, I still call my department, they were there, keeping the department going as this transition happened. But today, it's great to see the work that you have done, Stanley, because I think we're moving in the right direction. And to work with parents and community and staff is one of the most important things, because we can do parent events and workshops till we're blue in the face, but to really have systemic change is when you really partner with parents, teachers, principals, classified staff, and community. So I think that this department is doing that. They're taking the baby steps in a few months. They've done a lot. I really look forward to the new things that are going to happen. We've been in this place before with a lot of finger pointing. Why did this department get cut and this one doesn't, whatever. But I want to remind you, this is the first time this department has actually been funded to this degree with state funds. We have always been funded by Title I, except for about 1/3 of a secretary. But I need to thank the ALCAP and the vision of our state, because they made parent engagement a priority and made us think about what are we doing in this district and what can we do better to engage every family so they can work with their children and that they can be successful in this district. So I want to applaud not just the board for the support, but also for Mr. Anjan for taking this. I don't think you thought this job was going to be this hard, But I can tell you, this is one of the most gratifying things that happened to my life when I came to this department, was working first as a research teacher and then as a program manager, is to work with families and staff. And I'm really proud to just know that Raising a Reader and Family Fridays are still in the district. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Barbara Flannery, and my information is on file. Studies show that a main indicator of student success is parent engagement. I was excited about the new family engagement department, the re-envisionment of what it should be. I'm always reminded that everyone looks at things through their own lens, and I'm hoping that the department will get a chance to pause and take stock of what they're heading for, to reach out to the communities and to work with the communities in a partnership to see what the parents feel community involvement is for them. Thank you.
Board questions or comments? Who wants to go first? Dr. Evans? Yep.
I agree with what was previously said about, we have some great events, but obviously the great events do not include everybody, just like we had the Ballard Center, but not everybody was coming down to the Ballard Center. So one of the things that I was most excited about was this issue, and this was I believe in partnership with SDA, was were the home visits, because that's where you're really getting on the ground. Even when we talk about grassroots parent groups and so forth, not every parent is involved in a grassroots group, but actually have that direct contact, which already happens spontaneously, of course, in many cases with teachers, but really making that part of our system where the school and the home are tied together. Because when we talked about this whole department, the idea was we knew that the superintendent was reaching out very well to the most activist parents in the district, but what about all of the rest? And this is something that cuts across all socioeconomic strata in terms of the degree of involvement parents have with their children and their schools. So I think that the more we look at what is that one-on-one contact with every single parent, again, like I always say, nobody Nobody drops their kid off at the pediatrician and then asks them when they get home, what did the pediatrician say? And we just need to have such, we talk a lot about enticing parents, but we need to have such high expectations of our parents that when you're putting a child in our school, this is what we expect of you. And then the other part of this that I don't think was really talked about here, but is when there are situations where there's very weak support in the home for the students, what are we doing to find those, to identify them and have an adult mentor for that child too? So that's not exactly a question.
Very thorough report. Thank you for all your work.
I too want to thank you for where you've come, and I know that there is a long way to go. Everybody, every parent wants his or her children to learn, and I think we all want the same thing. And it was very good to hear from B. Fernandez about in 27 years. This is the first time we funded this program to this extent. We're reaching out beyond the parents that John talked about, just the parents who will be there anyway, regardless to where the children are, they will be there. We're trying to reach those parents who are not there. And this is what my goal is, my dream is for all of us here in the district to reach beyond, and not just you, but for every classroom teacher, every aide, whoever it is. We all represent every child in this district. And as a representative, I don't care who you are. If you work for the district, people see you and they expect you to know something about the district and to be there for their children. And so I just wish we could expand you, but that all of us will take ownership for every child in this district, the learning, the success, and whatever else is going on with the children. So thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank you both as well, Julie and Stan. Stan, I wonder if you could elaborate a little bit on the rollout of the high-impact home strategies. How are we doing that? And
So, well, one of the things that we plan to do is have videos placed up on our new Family Community Engagement webpage that would highlight the high impact home strategy. And I should have mentioned this earlier, but one of our new partners actually are the San Diego Gulls, the hockey team. And what they've committed to is having some of their hockey players actually film the high impact home strategy to be put up on our webpage of them utilizing it with their own children and modeling it for our own families. And so that's one of the ways that they want to be able to give back to our community. And so we are currently looking at working with them to get those videos up and published, I guess, so that and streamed so that our families have access to seeing a real model, as well as similar like to a Rely video that we have for our teachers. We'd be providing something for our families, just a little bit more in depth and detailed, less of a model and more of a walkthrough, if you will. And so those are two online tools that we have to roll out, as well as our family and community engagement resource teachers being able to provide parent workshops at a cluster level through our neighborhood centers on what those will look like, so that there's some actual engagement with our...
Will some of those videos for parents be in Spanish or other languages at all?
Yeah, we will. Everything we plan to push out will be in multiple languages so that we can address all of those barriers that we believe may occur with languages, yeah, so that we don't have that.
how will we make parents aware of the videos?
So, I mean, one of the things that we plan to work on with communications is a very strategic rollout with that. And so we're looking to not only push it out on the webpage, but have it accessible to our school sites, on our on their web pages so that they have access. So families go to their the school web page, we have it pushed out on there as well. So there's a variety of ways that we're hoping to get the word out. One other thing is that not only are we looking for partners who will help a video, like the goals, but partners who, like the public library or other nonprofit agencies who are currently servicing our communities, be aligned with our high impact home strategy so that they are also messaging that, and so that there is strong alignment in that work we do.
And the Rely videos, teachers can use the Rely videos, but we envision parents using them. And what happens is if you feature them in one of your Family Fridays, and the principal shows a Rely video and teaches parents how to use it, and they go through one together, then they'll realize how to do it and they can access more of them. But we start using it as a general way that we interact with the public in the gatherings that we already have with parents, and then they start habituating themselves to using it online when they're at home.
And thank you both. You're both really holding a legacy that people have worked on in this district for decades, as we've heard, and you're doing it extremely well. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Can we get a motion on item F1? Second. Please vote. And Dr. Whitehurst-Payne, you'd like to introduce item F2?
I would. Thank you, Mr. Barrera. Item F2, if you'll notice there, is the recognition of African American, National Black African American History Month. And I would just like to note that this is something that we do not want to take for granted, because believe it or not, it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears from the African American community that laid the groundwork for a lot of the other initiatives that we're moving forward with now. But foundationally, they were smart enough back then to want to expand and include everyone. And as we move forward on that continuum of including everyone, we don't want to forget where we were in the beginning. And having said that, I was told that Jacqueline Polk, who had worked with the the Association of African American Educators, passed this past weekend, and we do want to acknowledge the contribution that she made in this district as a teacher, counselor, administrator, and then as the executive director for that organization, as she dedicated her life to ensuring that there was equity. And so I'd like to move that item forward.
Thank you, Dr. Whitehurst-Payne. Any other comments? If not, please vote. Thank you.
I do have a comment. You know, we are all very well aware of Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech where he said, "I have a dream." But I have a question for the board and the superintendent. Does anybody know the name of the individual that actually organized the March on Washington? Richard Barrera gets an A+ on the pop quiz. Bayard Rustin. Bayard Rustin was an ally with Martin Luther King Jr., part of his inner circle. I was at the Bayard Rustin Civil Rights Award at the LGBT Center just last week. A lot of people don't know this. Bayard Rustin, the individual that organized the March on Washington in the 1960s, was openly gay. And that is why Coretta Scott King, to this day, has always supported LGBT rights before it was popular. And that is a part of the commitment that we have in our community, is to recognize African Americans in the LGBT community that continue to carry on his legacy of fighting for civil rights for everybody. So I just wanted to say thank you, President Barrera, for passing the pop quiz. Good job.
Thank you, Mr. Beiser. And anybody on this board that wants to read a passage from Coretta Scott King at any time will not be censored. Okay, we'll move on to item H1, and this is a report on the actions taken in response to our December 6th a resolution reaffirming our values of peace, tolerance, and respect for multiple perspectives. Superintendent?
Thank you, President Barrera. I'd like to say that tonight we are very honored to have with us Marcela Solorio, the Consul General of Mexico. Before I recognize the Council, I want to update the Board of two important measures that I've taken today in response to the fear many of our immigrant families are feeling right now in San Diego. First, I've directed all staff on their obligation to protect our students from immigration enforcement activity on our school sites. Next, I emailed a letter to all families advising them of their rights to feel safe and secure on our school grounds regardless of their immigration status. These actions are in step with the existing state and federal law. They are also a direct response to the measure passed by this board last December following the presidential election. With that, I would now like to present Marcela Solorio. Before taking up her post as representative of her government in San Diego, the Council served in Brussels, Tel Aviv, New York City, and Washington, D.C. She has also been an outstanding partner in our work to protect all our students and families from fear in this current uncertain climate. And for that, I would like to say thank you on their behalf. Now, Consul General Marcela Solorio.
Thank you. Well, you have to be patient because this is my first time here with you, all of you, and I celebrate this new partnership that we're having, the consulate and the district, the unified district. Superintendent Cindy Martin, since we met, we talk about the importance of this alliance, but I think very briefly, I'm going to give you an overview of about what we do at the consulate. We, as representatives of the Mexican government here, are here to protect the interests of our people and the Mexican government, or Mexico. So first of all, we rule ourselves by the international law, the Vienna Convention of Consular Affairs, that traditionally give us the faculty to address three main issues. First of all, provide citizen services. These citizen services include providing, passports, IDs, birth certificates to the kids, and among other documentation. Secondly, we have this important task that is giving protection. What is to give protection to our nationals is observing or being vigilant that they are respected, their rights are respected, that the due process of law is observed before any sentence or resolution is imposed. We visit them everywhere, like in the county, in San Diego County. The north part of the county is where the most vulnerable people is, and we go there to provide these services. We, of course, provide them with legal advice. We have every Tuesday and every Thursday, we have consultants, legal consultants, that provide not just regarding migratory issues, but civil or administrative or penal or labor issues. We can provide some assistance. And the third one is to promote, of course, our culture, trade among countries. But from these traditional activities, the consular activities that we perform, we have moved on because Mexico has this important tradition on its foreign policy about the consular activity. We are the only country that has 50 consulates in another country across the USA. We have an amount of 35 million Mexican descendants. Within that 35, we have 12 million that were born in Mexico, and half of them are undocumented. So the Mexican government has been evolving from this traditional activity to other activities that I call being our new generation functions. And among those are, one that is very important is, has to do with health issues. Of course, we're not doctors, and we're not going to help people in that area, but what we can do is make the referrals. So the Mexican community comes to the consulate, and we provide these referrals to the organizations that work with us. And it's very important nowadays in these complicated and uncertain times. We also make referrals for the mental health. There are a lot of people that come with a lot of this stress, and we are improving ourselves to have partnerships with these kind of providers. We also have an office that has to do with finance, education, educación financiera. So people learn how to handle their own money, how to pay taxes, even if they don't have a social security number. We encourage them to comply with their obligations, and so we help them to get their ITIN number. We help them to navigate the finance system. Also, we have our community department that is very important, because what we do there is help educate our community. A lot of people, a lot of migrants came here and they didn't finish school, so we give them the chance to do it here from abroad. And also, well, when I arrived here, I took office in June last year. One of my main concerns and one of my goals was to improve the English education among our community centers, because and that doesn't mean that you have to give up to your culture or to your roots, but it is important because you're living here in this country, you're having your kids here, they go to school, you work here, you're contributing to this society, and it's very sad to take a look at the families, the parents mainly, that they are not able to have a voice because they don't understand and they cannot speak English. So maybe the kids now, fortunately, they're becoming, they can speak the language, but we're trying to help the parents because it doesn't matter that they are undocumented. As a human beings, they have rights, and I think that it is important that they can get involved in the community affairs, and they have to learn how civic education. They have to have this education in order for them to get involved. And well, that's why we started, as I said, in this time of uncertainty, because nowadays we don't know what the policies are going to be and how are they going to be implemented. I just had last week several conversations with Chief Carter, with Chief Zimmerman, with the Border Patrol, because we, and I praise that, we have a very good communication. And I asked them if there is something new that we have to know, and they said that everything remains the same, there's nothing new. And in the case that something came up, they will tell us. And well, I will tell you that, convey you that message in case that something changes and the community has to be aware of. But nevertheless, we started since November last year, we started providing information about what the consulate can do for the community, and giving some recommendations to the Mexican community to be prepared for whatever case scenario is coming. So either if they can remain in this country, or if they have to go back to Mexico, or if they decide to go back to Mexico, they should, for example, have all their documentation in order, have an ID, have their birth certificates, their kids' birth certificates, their scholar certificates, their license, driving license. It is very important. And of course, we had 40 forums. That's why we met Cindy, with one of the people from my staff met her, and that's what we started this collaboration. So, well, to wrap up and leave you, if you want to ask me any question, I'm open to that. But the message that I want to send now is that we have me as a diplomat representing my country. I want to tell you that I am confident, and I trust and I am putting all my faith that the institutions will work and are working, and I respect the rule of law. I think it is very important to comply with our obligations and also to exercise our rights. And if there is undocumented people, maybe you're going to ask me, well, they broke the law. Yes, but I think that this has to do more with supply and demand issue, and I think that our responsibility is to be able to regulate that kind of phenomena. So that's my message. Is the consulate here is to help to create these alliances to improve, to contribute to the betterment of our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your partnership.
Board members, any questions or comments for Consul General?
I just want to say thank you very much for coming here this evening and giving us the opportunity to continue to work collaboratively to make sure that all of our children and families are protected and given a lot of opportunities here in the United States, especially for a lot of students who may have their mother is a citizen but their father isn't, and the stress and anxiety that some of our students are experiencing is really creating some socio-emotional challenges for a lot of our children. A lot of fear and anxiety is going on as we hear ICE raids going on all over the state of California, where they're standing out on sidewalks in front of schools. They're not technically on school property. And there was also another ruling that I heard on NPR today that the previous order of the 45th president was only people that have been convicted of a crime, and now that has been augmented today to be anybody that they suspect might be undocumented. And so I think that we've got to continue to work together to uphold the rights of all of the people. And as a school board, we're following the law. And there's a Supreme Court ruling that every child, documented or undocumented, has a right to an education. And that's what our commitment is to all of the children in San Diego. So thank you again for coming down tonight.
On the contrary, thank you. And if you happen to know of any case, that will be very important that you can send us the information so we can defend that person.
Okay, thank you.
Plyler versus Doe. We'll get that.
Okay, thanks.
Any other comments? No, thank you again. And
thank you.
And we also appreciate you've made the offer to the superintendent that you may be able to actually broker a conversation between those of us in the education community locally.
Yes.
And
yes, I already asked for that as soon as we met, and they told me that now they don't have anything to talk about, but they are willing to. And I am a facilitator, and I will do my best to
because we have plenty to talk. We have plenty to talk about,
okay.
Even if they don't.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. We have a couple of public speakers on this item. Yes. Gabriela Contreras Misiri Lioglu and Francine Maxwell.
Good evening, board members and President Barrera. My name is Gabriela Contreras Misirlioglu, and my information is on file. As president of San Diego High School PTSA, that's Parent Teacher Student Association, I am so pleased to have partnered with the Family and Community Engagement Office to bring an important event, the Immigration Forums, to the district families, particularly in our site, San Diego High. On December 5th, 2016, San Diego High PTSA identified this community concern within our own community members, and we brought it up to PTA Council. From then on, we invited one of the consuls, Mr. Victor Coso, to attend our cluster meeting, and he was prompt to our invitation, and he attended our cluster meeting. Then a journey started. Although we have to say that this journey was not without a few bumps in the road. When partners and stakeholders' roles and responsibilities in a project are clearly defined and understood, each party should be integrated into a project activity and decisions in ways that are appropriate to their levels of investment, risk, reward, and participation. At this point, we're talking about PTSA and San Diego Unified. At times, participants in a project can and may be both partners and stakeholders simultaneously, and sometimes the dividing line may be subtle. Parents, teachers, students, and community members look forward to work with the Family and Community Engagement Office under the leadership of Mr. Anjan Stanley. We're very happy to have worked on this together. Many emails, many late night text and communication in order to meet very tight deadlines. It is important to highlight that your collaboration with PTA recognizes our value as community partner. Thank you on behalf of the close to 10,000 PTA members. And I'm just going to pass out one of the flyers that FACE and PTA designed together. Thank you.
Thanks for your leadership, Gabriela.
Francine Maxwell, I'll be speaking on behalf of my sister Guadalupe. She wanted me to make sure that I say, if you are more fortunate than others, build a longer table, not a taller fence. So she wanted me to read that because she has to go back and forth across the border, and sometimes she's stressed, and her children are stressed. So when they come to schools in District E and they have their teacher that has our president's quotes on them, they're feeling a little uneasy. They understand that everybody has a First Amendment right to repeat anything that our president says, but it was my understanding that there was an email sent off to make sure that our students feel safe and secure. So being stressed coming back and forth on the border with your mother to come get an education, and you have to walk into a classroom where your teacher has some things spewed across the whiteboard where you need to make sure that you concentrate and look to get your assignment for the day and your goals, it's a little bit troubling. So I would hope that the email that was sent out to all staff is to make sure and give them examples on what makes children feel safe and secure. Many of my Latino neighborhood children, they say that their stress level has amped up because people that used to hide some of the comments, they're coming more and more blatant with it. And so I'm not sure if we need to host a town hall on how we can work together so that we can go ahead and continue to push down and suppress some of your true feelings, because at the end of the day, you're paid to come to work to make sure that children get an education, that children feel safe and secure. Guadalupe also wrote me a note, and she said that she's been watching and going on a lot of Facebook. She was here and she was able to attend the Alliance Breakfast where Reverend William Potter, and she felt really good and inspired with his speech, and she really feels that we have our chance here in San Diego we are being called to be the moral defibrillator of our time. So she wants me to make sure that I say that although she will never be comfortable to come to Normal Street, she'll never be comfortable to speak in public, know that she has relatives that she will be helping move the needle so that more and more voices will be heard. And like she said, build a longer table, not a taller fence.
Okay, if there are no other board member comments or questions, we'll move on to item H2. And this is simply, if board members have questions, we do have two public speakers on this issue. Francine Maxwell, sorry to have you go back up to your seat, and Lindsay Birmingham. There's no presentation, Francine, so if you want to speak, you can speak now.
Francine Maxwell, I'm just concerned with the fact that 6 months ago, we've put in public requests through AAAE to get a capture of some financial trackings, some financial information, some financial details. And to date, AAAE, the last time I checked with the president, they've yet to receive their public records request. So I'm not understanding why we have to hide. It was really clear in the request that we wanted some information prior to the last CFO leaving because we felt like she left abruptly. There's some things that were crystal clear, and it's not about people getting, different raises or something, but it's about people giving a spin. So like the current spin I heard today is that the superintendent took a 5% pay cut. True or not true, but it don't matter because if she got a 4% raise, then the only thing that was really missing was 1%. So rather it's rumor or it's true, it would be nice for when we put in public document requests that you get Mr. Day to really give us the information within 10-day turnaround instead of keep sending us the email saying that they're not ready yet, they're not able to find things. So it goes all back to we want to make sure that our school year 2017, 2018, we're more transparent than we ever been.
Thank you.
Lindsay Birmingham, SDEA President. Here to talk about a few things. First of all, start with a positive thing. I think as Cindy knows, the most favorite time of the meeting for me is seeing the students up on the stage. And when I was a classroom teacher, I learned from my students every single day. And sitting in this audience here, there are a few things I had to write down as they were talking. In their project, or in their program, 4 things stuck out for me that they shared with us, and I think all of us adults can learn something from what they said. When you work as a team, you get more ideas. Working together is faster than working alone. Working as a team is a foundation to getting things done, and when we show gracious, and throughout what they do, they show gracious professionalism and cooperation. Those 4 things really stuck with me. And as we embark on what has been a difficult 2 weeks and what I assume is going to be a difficult few months, I think it's important that we all keep that in mind. On the budget, if you guys have it in front of you, I would encourage you to look at slide 6. This slide paints a bit of a picture for me and why, as the SDA president and our SDA staff, sometimes question the district's budget projections versus what the actuals end up being. It's why we question, although the budget might show a $124 million deficit, are the projections within that budget actually accurate? If you look at certificated salaries and unrestricted, the black bar, the budget shows $451 million, and the actuals show $426 million. That's a difference of $24.74 million. For classified, the budget shows $133 million. The actuals show 121. For employee benefits, the budget shows 245. The actuals show 228. For books and supplies, the budget shows 23 million. The actuals show 8.5 million. That's a total of $69 million difference in what the budget was and the projections. So as we look at the budget for next year, we need to ensure that our projections are accurate and we are not overcutting right now in order to balance that budget instead of making the accurate projections we need in order to balance the budget. If you look below unrestricted, you see a very similar story. Certificated salaries are actually up $6 million. Classified salaries are up $220,000. When you look at benefits, the projection's off by $47.9 million, books and supplies off by $28.6. That's a total of $70.3. So as we go into this process, please keep in mind not only what your budget shows, but are your projections actually accurate as to what we and the things we do are actually going to cost.
Yes, Dr. Waters.
Was there an issue about timing of some of the funds that we had anticipated that came in December instead of January? Or I'm asking finance folks.
You're asking our CFO, Patricia Cook?
I'm afraid I'm going to have to get back to you with some more detail, but I do know that there are some charges that aren't yet reflected. For example, hourly costs. This is a snapshot as of December, and there are lots of moving parts, but I know for one that hourly costs have not been charged off to certificated salaries yet. Beyond that, because I'm still not familiar with all these reports, I apologize. I will have to get back to the board with an explanation. Excuse me.
Can you comment on some of Lindsay's remarks that the unrestricted budget versus actuals is a variance of $69 million and the restricted has a variance of $70 million, or about $139 million variance between budget and actual?
This is where I'm a little at a disadvantage, Mr. Beiser, and I apologize, but I'm excuse me, I am not exactly sure what the timing is on that report. So I would need to work with staff and find out whether the data are completely up to date and what other events are going to occur that will, I assume, bring the actual expenditures closer to the budget. The example that I do have is the hourly charges. They aren't reflected in expenditures, they are in the budget, so that would close that gap. But I also want to say that we constantly are trying to update to make sure that there is an accurate presentation to the board of what our financial circumstances are. And so to take that one chart and extrapolate from that really probably isn't saying the whole picture. When we present the first interim, we present the second interim, or our other updates, we try to give you actual data and projections off our actual data. If the budget overestimated, that would be revealed in that process.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll move to the consent agenda, and we had pulled. Okay. So I think, Kevin, you had pulled I-13 and I-15.
Yeah, I'd like to, unless there's a motion for either one of them, then we can't speak to them.
Do we have a motion for I-13? I will move the item. Okay.
Okay, thank you, President Barrera. Item I-13 is the First Amendment to an agreement with Young Audiences DBA Arts for Learning San Diego to continue providing art integration services at District Elementary K-8 schools. And the budget allocation is $700,000. That's like 7 music teachers. And I was just kind of wanting to get some clarification from staff, superintendent or anybody on staff as to why we're going to be allocating $700,000 to an outside organization where we could insource that $700,000 and for 7 or 8 music teachers or VAPA teachers. Anybody?
Mr. Solo can speak to this, along with Renee Alvarez from Strategic Sourcing.
So the contract that you see in front of you is actually an extension. So what we've decided to do this year with strategic sourcing is instead of individual schools that are using site funds to come and bring individual contracts to the board for using young audiences, we put it all under one. So the first contract we did, we've actually reached that dollar amount with schools, and so we're adding an extra $700,000 for schools that may want to continue to contract with young audiences above and beyond. Site funds pay for that, and that's not central office funds.
And those are site-based decisions that are paying for that. So if the school decides that they want.
We've also expanded the term of the agreement, and I think to 2019 as well.
Yeah, it also goes up to $1 million, which would be 10 or 11 VAPA teachers that could provide music and arts education in our schools.
And as they express that sites make those decisions, like when a school decides that they want to have a dance program and they want young audiences to provide that, which sites have done, then instead of every single site doing a separate contract with young audiences, giving us dozens of contracts, we have now a blanket district contract that makes the process easier to bring arts to all of our elementary schools.
So we're going to be laying off VAPA teachers to have an outside organization come into our schools and do these programs. Is that correct?
We would be contracting individually with individual schools. The intent of this item was to consolidate those individual contracts that would be coming up over the next several years.
I understand, but
as school sites make those decisions.
I understand, but within the month, we're going to be making decisions at the board level to lay off double-digit numbers of VAPA teachers. And I'm not sure I understand the concept that we're going to take $700,000 to $1 million and give that to an outside third-party organization while laying off VAPA teachers that could be providing those
Some
kinds
of that money may not be used at all. Schools may not choose from here forward for the rest of the school year or next school year to actually use young audiences because that's a site decision using site funds. So in order for us to take back those VAPA teachers, we would have to take back those site funds and use it centrally to fund our VAPA teachers.
This is a not to exceed amount. It's not that
right, not to exceed $1 million. Yeah.
How many schools are impacted? Yeah. How many schools would you say you serve that those contracts could represent?
Freeze comes to mind. They use them a lot. Yeah. Freeze Elementary, but there are several. I don't know the exact number.
I know Central and Adams used them.
Yeah. And how many sites would be impacted by laying off 15 VAPA elementary school teachers?
We committed to you to provide that information at a future date as you requested it this morning.
Right. I just can't vote to spend $1 million when we're going to be asked at the next board meeting to lay off VAPA teachers. I think that's pretty clear from the information I've received from staff at this point in time. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments on this matter? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Thanks.
Okay. Item I-15 is pulled. Do we have a motion on I-15?
Before that, could we get some background information? I know the Salute to Excellence, I believe, was previously at SeaWorld, and then at one point we were doing it at our own locations, and now it's back to SeaWorld.
We have Stacy Siders and Wendy Rankber are available to respond to this if there's
Okay.
questions.
Hi, my name is Stacy Siders. I am a secondary resource teacher with the Office of Secondary Schools, and we are proposing this contract to you for three particular reasons. So the first one is the tradition of the Salute to Excellence for several years. At the end of the year, we celebrate our students as they conclude their 13-year educational career. So our office feels very passionately about continuing this tradition for students at all of our high schools and celebrating with their families. The second reason is our partnership with SeaWorld, specifically looking at the Nautilus Pavilion. They provide several countless opportunities and experiences for our students in our schools. And the third reason is that we're really getting the best deal here. We have shopped around, as we've been well trained by strategic sourcing and our ASB programs to do. So we have shopped around, and they're giving us the best deal to provide the most premier experience for our students and our families. And we just feel very passionate about continuing this tradition and making sure that our students and our families feel very valued and celebrated and have a memorable experience.
And for I was, I would just, the reason why I pulled the item was because I saw that it's thousands of dollars.
$2,499.
It's a few $1,000s, and we could still have an amazing district Salute to Excellent event at one of our schools and not have to pay that money because it's our own facility. And that's kind of where I'm coming from on this, especially in light of the fact that we're going to be making some very difficult choices at the next board meeting. I think that we ought to, any time that we could insource something, insource an event and have it at one of our amazing school facilities, I think we ought to try to do that and save those thousands of dollars and not give it to an outside organization. That's kind of why I'm questioning this item.
And we completely understand, and our office just feels very passionately about making sure that the students and the families don't feel any impacts. And so we can definitely look at options to get donations for the event to continue.
Do you know how many layoffs are coming out of your department next week for the budget proposal?
A lot.
You don't? Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other questions or comments on this item? If not, please vote.
Has it been, who moved it?
Nobody's moved it. Nobody's moved it.
Nope.
No, he just asked an information question.
Is there a motion?
No.
I will move it. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Please vote. Okay. Item I-17. We've got a speak. Do we have a speaker on I-17? Yeah. Gwen Osgard.
Yes, hello, I'm Gwen Osgard, and I'm here today to discuss two of the classes on the list of courses to be terminated, ESL History and ESL Science. The goal of ESL has always been access, true access, through language acquisition. When English learners have not yet acquired enough language to understand what is being taught, they have no access. ESL History and Science are electives, and we know that our students need electives and take elective courses. These electives are language acquisition classes with the added benefit of foundational skills. English learners gain access to future history and science courses by gaining the vocabulary, the lab skills, the textbook skills that they need at the high school level. They learn about the United States, both the history and the culture. Eliminating these codes prevents future use of these classes. Has the current model been proven as a better model? Why eliminate these codes entirely? Thank you.
Thank you. And as I'm looking at this item, Superintendent, it looks like we're approving courses that are already being implemented.
Yes, Wendy Rankburg, who chairs our ICC, will come up and comment on this.
Thank you.
I'm Wendy Rankburn. I'm also the chair of the ICC. I think there's some misunderstanding about the course code change. It is a change in title. It's not a change in the service that we're providing to the students. We have another course that has ELD instead of ESL. So the supports for students who are learning English for history and science remain unchanged. It's just a change in course title to bring it into alignment with the expectations of the state.
Thank you. And again, these are 16, 17 courses.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any questions or comments? If not, please vote. Okay. Item I-19, citizen.
This is a great program. I really support it. I've been to Twain many times and spoken to a lot of the students there. These students want to learn. They have great difficulties. They ride on buses to get to Twain. Instead of dropping out of school, they make it there. And Mr. Beiser, congratulations to you. Maybe it's $2,500, but I would rather spend $2,500 on the children at Twain who are struggling and really fighting to get to school than spending it at SeaWorld. So thank you for that. That is great. So who proposed this? I support, who's the person that presented this agenda item?
Citizen, I'm sorry, but is this item I-19 you're speaking to?
Twain.
Yeah, it's ratification of agreement with Nash and Associates to provide
Oh, I was going to speak to that too, but I was going to speak to Twain as well.
Oh, okay. In fact,
I was trying to follow the numbers and trying to
signed
listen.
up for 19, 36, and 37, so why don't you speak to all three, actually?
Okay. And the other two items are ratifications of more legal contracts, and we never see a report. The people do not know how much the legal department of San Diego Unified is spending on legal fees. We're spending a lot of money for outside law firms, hundreds of thousands of dollars in settlement agreements. I would like to see an explanation as to why the legal department continues to bring forth one contract, two contracts, and why we're paying that kind of money. There is no explanation. Let's get a report. Let's find out what this legal office really costs the school district. Let's find out how much it's paying in outside legal fees. Let's find out why there are so many lawsuits and why the superintendent cannot get people trained so that we don't constantly have lawsuits. I was looking at two of them involving the same school police officer, and she's on workman's compensation. That's costing us money. So that's my comment. I think that you should not approve more legal contracts until you have answers as to where all that money is going.
Okay, thank you. So we have already approved I-16, which is the Twain item, but we, I think by mistake, pulled item I-19. So can we get a motion on item I-19?
So moved.
Do you have a second? Second. Okay, please vote. Okay, and then can we get one motion on items 36 and 37?
So moved.
A second? Okay. Any comments or questions? If not, please vote. Okay. Did we have any remaining non-agenda public testimony? Okay, thank you. We adjourn.
Okay.